Club Row in London's East End, once a thriving open-air market for pets. Acting on a tip-off, the Rspb investigators are on an undercover mission.
Within the last 6 to 7 years, to my knowledge, this premises has been raided on at least 3 occasions. As a result of each of those raids, people who were engaged in the sale of birds within that premises were prosecuted.
The information that we've had has been that trading, wholesale trading, has been going on in the sale of wild birds, normally or mostly finches, British finches, which the Wildlife and Countryside Act makes quite illegal. Now, it's something that we think ought to be stopped at source. The kind of people that we're interested in stopping are not the punter who's actually making a few quid at the bottom end of the line, but it's the people who are controlling this. Maybe the landlord, maybe the licensee, maybe the actual brewery itself. And it's something we're trying to find a little bit more information today, see what's going on, and possibly have a chat with the landlord about it.
I'll tell you the situation with me. I've been here 3 weeks. Yeah. Apparently this has been going on for
a
long time. Yeah. Now, I just can't come in and say, that's it.
Fair enough. No, we're not, as I said, not here.
I mean, I would never see an animal hurt. No. If I thought there was something being ill-treated, I would stop it right away.
See, the problem that you might have, that there are offences going on in your bar at the moment.
OK. As I say, I really don't know the law on the birds or on what side. I say, if you give me a list,
ignorance of the law is no excuse.
Sorry?
Ignorance of the law is no excuse.
Of course it's not. No. Of course it's not. Yeah. I mean, if something's gone on me for 100 years, I mean, who am I to come in and say stop?
Well,
it's not an easy process. It's a slow process, yeah.
The brewery which owns the pub was shocked by the bird detectives' revelations and took immediate action. They banned the selling of birds forthwith. Trading stopped.
Yeah.
But soon, fresh intelligence came in. The bird dealers had merely shifted their centre of operations to another pub 200 yards away. Though the Knave of Clubs would never again be known as the Bird House, its former patrons had simply moved on to another venue. It was time for another surreptitious visit.
Yeah, and that's what they've been in. They've been open, they've been quarantined, they've been in.
Among the many protected species on open display were goldfinches illegally imported.
Belgium, is it? No, these come from Turkey.
Turkey. These are legal.
So sort of legal.
Sort of legal.
The bird detectives decided to buy 2 birds themselves as conclusive proof that the laws were being flouted.
That's a nice bird, that's the end. It's slightly smaller.
The salesman, it turned out, was Adnam Isel. He'd already been convicted of attempting to smuggle 200 goldfinches in a suitcase from Turkey and other offences.
They're pretty birds to have.
Yeah.
Has the price gone down from last week? No. This is, I only got this left. Like I said, this is my last.
50 quid a pair. Come on.
I've been selling them. I can sell them all day long. You know, I'm not really worried about it. I can do swaps.
Go on, 50 quid a pair.
I'm not going to fight because you bought for 55. That's cheap enough. If the Rspb come, all right, the bloke who really knows about it, he would know the difference.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, he would know the difference. If you get any old.
£55 changed hands, and a pair of Turkish goldfinches was removed from the upstairs bar of the Owl and the Pussycat to a place of greater safety.
Well, we've actually proved now sales taking place. We were aware of that a week ago. And what we have here is some quite serious offences being committed, not only against the Wildlife and Countryside Act, but also some import legislation as well, because the chap who was selling us these birds here was actually mentioning to us that they were coming from Turkey.
Can you show us these birds?
Well, here they are, here. They're rather frightened. They're at the base of the cage at the moment, and I don't think it's a good idea to spend too much time playing around with them. They've had an awful lot of stress.
I think traditionally these things were sold in East End pubs, but we thought the practice had died out a long time ago. But this is quite unusual, I think, to find modern pubs selling these things in rooms upstairs. It really is quite disgraceful.
So Karen and Andy tackled the licensee about the bird trade in his upstairs bar.
I'm completely innocent of knowledge of whatever, because I'm a publican and not a ornithologist.
Fine. Right? Who's the chap? You must know him. He's of Turkish origin, I think. He does make quite a lot of money at it. I know he's selling birds, and there's no doubt about that, because he has sold them to me. So these are quite obviously...
Is it against the law to sell a bird or not?
It's essentially in the way in which it's going on, yes.
If I walk in here with a canary,
yes?
Is that against the law?
If you walked in here with a canary and you permitted its sale to take place on licensed premises, you may well be infringing the pet shop regulations, yes. If you met someone in the street and asked to buy a canary from him, or indeed advertised it from your own home as a private sale, then no, that is quite legitimate. But trade taking place in various premises has to be regulated by the Pet Shop Licensing Act, which is a local authority matter. Quite bluntly, what goes on in the upstairs bar there is one of the busiest pet shops that I think I've come across for quite a long time.
Oh, yeah.
So that's another little piece of legislation as well, which you could find yourself falling foul of, and there's no pun intended there. Because what I'm here to try and do is to politely persuade you to stop doing it. If you choose, and it must be your choice, to allow these things to go on, then it's only right that I would point out to you that we'd have to consider more formal approaches with regards to what's going on here.
The publican gave the required undertaking. The sale of birds at the Owl and the Pussycat has stopped, the case is closed. And for two tiny birds, after a life of trauma, the prospect of freedom.
We've obviously had to make a decision about their future. We're concerned that if we keep them in captivity for much longer, they're going to die. I know that we've been told they came from Turkey, but we really can't be sure about that, and trying to get them back would involve so much bureaucracy that really that's out of the question. We've decided to let them go, and we're letting them go here because we know that there are flocks of goldfinches around this area. There's plenty of seed and food for them to eat, so we're going to let them go in this area where hopefully they'll survive for much longer than they would do in captivity.